We're following up now on a Bloomberg Markets magazine exclusive that has caused outrage across the country. The report details how more than 100 insurance carriers are earning investment income on $28 billion owed to beneficiaries, including the families of Americans who died serving their country. Within a day of that report, New York Attorney General Andrew Cuomo opened an investigation. Defense Secretary Robert Gates has also ordered an investigation. And this week, proposals in Congress for new rules on insurance companies came out. Joining us now, West Virginia Insurance Commissioner Jane Cline. She's also the president of the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. Jane, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it. First of all, one of the things that was interesting in this story is that obviously these folks, the relatives of dead servicemen and women, didn't know this was happening. Obviously, a lot of regulators didn't know it was happening. Is this something that you were aware of as you in your dealings with insurance companies?
Well, we were aware that some companies used retained asset accounts, but I think the thing that has come to light is there needs to be improved disclosure requirements going between the beneficiaries and making sure that the regulators understand these accounts, how they're being used, but also, most importantly, that the beneficiaries of the policyholder fully understand their options and their benefits that are available to them at the time that they have lost a loved one.
And what is the role of your organization in all of this in terms of trying to encourage the insurance companies to do education?
Well, we are the insurance regulators. And so our role is to protect the insurance consumers, and we take that role very seriously. So part of our role is obviously educating the consumer. So we'll be putting out a consumer alert for individuals so that they can review that consumer alert, know questions that they should be asking, making sure that they understand the options available to them as they are receiving the proceeds from the life insurance policy. But it's also our responsibility to ensure that companies are complying with state laws and are treating consumers fairly, and that they're disclosing the appropriate information to consumers.
Are these retained asset accounts something that the NAIC already tracks and knows how much is in them, for example?
There are some reporting requirements, but we are going back and reviewing the reporting requirements to determine if there should be perhaps more disclosure about the type of monies that companies are retaining in these accounts, and making sure that we fully understand what companies are doing. And again, our prime focus is the consumer, and making sure that the consumer is being treated fairly and that they understand the options that are available to them.
Now, I'm curious also, obviously you have two roles here, sort of the national role and then the role in West Virginia. Do you know, especially since you've begun to hear about these stories, do you know yet how much is in these types of accounts in your particular state?
We would have to look at the financial and do more in-depth research on that. We have looked, and through our consumer services division, they have had inquiries about these type of accounts in the past. And generally, when they explain to the individual, they can either continue to draw down the proceeds from the account, or they can merely write a check for the lump sum for the face amount of the policy and deposit that into their account. That's been generally most of the inquiry that we have had.
So most of it has come from the people affected rather than outreach being done, and now you're saying more outreach will be done instead of sort of the other way around.
Right. I mean, obviously this story has generated a lot of publicity, and our role and our goal is to make sure that consumers are educated and that consumers are being treated fairly. And so we will be ramping up our consumer education initiatives on this, and also going back and looking and making sure we fully understand exactly how companies are treating and what they're disclosing to the consumer.
Okay, Jane, unfortunately we're out of time. Thank you for joining us. Jane Cline is president of the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. You're watching